Thank you for diving in.
Oh, DJ, your mic is on too high. Oh, sorry. Welcome to the Shallow End, where we recap the entirety of a season in one go. This is the recap of Season 1. To start off, I have this book that I found in an underwater cave with tales of creatures that may or may not exist. The first story is about two brothers that became cursed fish hybrids by an ocean goddess. They had to live in the ocean but found it was polluted, so they found the goddess and she gave them powers to help her from growing weaker. They trained for a while and then they helped her deal with pollution and pirates. So the brothers became ocean men and had to live in an octopus's garden until they didn't want to go near the water. Then they found a goddess who had put a spell on them, but she also gave them powers, making them as strong as titanium. But they still had to train until they felt the eye of the tiger fish. Crazy how this all happened under the sea, but at least they're still standing. For the next story, a man wanted to be a pirate, but was told to be an admiral instead. But later, he did so anyway with a crew of his own. In wanting to fulfill one of his childhood dreams, he sought after the pirate queen to find a hidden treasure. But she wasn't too keen on seeing him, so they fought. But in the middle, they were both attacked by a sea beast. They defeat it and sail the seas as friends. I'm really gonna have to stretch this one out. So, the guy wanted his crew to come sail away with him, and they were able to count on him, but since everybody wanted to rule the world, they had to outshine the others. They found the pirate queen, but she wanted to fight, and the guy was willing to agree with her. The queen was confident she'd win, but the guy didn't believe her. Then a sea beast came to attack, but combined, a 7-nation army couldn't hold them back, and in the end, they were the champions. The next story is... Hang on, do you have a cold? Your voice sounds wrong. A little bit. Here, have a cough drop. Thank you. Oh, that's better. Now, the next story is about this woman who works at a marine biology lab and worked her way up the ranks until she went on an expedition, where she found talking fish that gave her a magic crystal. The woman tested the crystal while surfing to find it controlled the motion of the water. However, her now ex-boyfriend stole it and was planning on using it for cruel experiments, but she stopped him and was gifted the crystal by the same ocean goddess the brothers encountered. The lab she had worked for used the interns to turn into fish hybrids, and she helped them escape, but it caused a war that she stopped after defeating her now cursed, but much more grotesque, fish hybrid ex. I see. So, she started off having bad days, but after her promotion, she went out on an expedition in her yellow submarine to discover the crystal. Too bad she wiped out testing it. She really didn't enjoy it when her ex stole it, hoping it would give him hell, but she wasn't going to take his transgression anyway. She roared up some inner strength to become the hero of the sea. Too bad she didn't save the interns in time, but she still managed to prevent a war. What is it good for anyway? Anyway, her ex did try to stop her, but her new powers had her dancing around him like it was nothing. The next story. Crying. Oh, right. Ahem. The next story is about this alien prince of a feared species that no other species trust. The prince was heavily influenced by the queen's pacifistic teachings. He didn't want to be cruel like the king, so he rebelled against them. But thanks to bylaws, the prince lost and was set to be banished. But the planet got attacked by another species. The queen of that species captured the prince to kill him, but she later found that the prince was a pacifist and decided to treat him better. The leader of another different species didn't agree and wanted to kill the prince anyway, but thanks to the prince's kindness, he decided to show mercy. But he'd still keep a close eye on him. The prince overthrew his father and became the new king. Okay, how would you do this? So, the prince had a hard time growing up as his ideals were frowned upon, so his only friend was darkness. But luckily, his mom raised him up when he was doubtful. But when it came to his father, he wanted there to be a change, so he challenged him. But the king won't back down. Because of an attack on his planet, he met two species. One, he found a friend he could lean on, the other wasn't keen on being friendly. The prince could only imagine a peaceful chat, but with the leader dead set on killing him, the prince had to run. The prince was eventually able to talk things over and get the leader off his back, but the prince swears somebody's watching him constantly. The prince overthrew the king and became the new king, mandating peace through the planet, and the old king don't like it? You tried. And now we have Xander. Yep, by the way, you're not real. What? So I have this story about this Australian guy on an Earth inhabited by elementals.
and only he and the rest of his family can copy any other element, making them a powerful family. When he became of age, he and his sister went out on town to see it's a lot less magical than they thought it was. Oh, yeah, and his sister gets shot, causing him to run away in distress. His sister actually manages to recover and goes looking for him to find him in a fight club. He didn't want to go back, believing he didn't deserve it, but she managed to drag him back because their dad died and their sleazy uncle took over as head of the house, making advances on their mom. The guy isn't strong enough to fight his uncle, but he manages to defeat him by sharing the family secret with the rest of the country. But they didn't appreciate it, so they locked his family up and were set to be executed. But his sister breaks him out and they plan to escape. Oh, yeah, and his sister gets shot again, causing him to go into an enraged state which allows him to escape with his dying sister. He goes to a hospital where most of the doctors didn't want to help him, but one nurse did. And it worked. His sister is saved again. Now he, his sister, and the nurse head out of Australia where they meet up with his mom who managed to escape. Alright, so this guy from a land down under has fancy powers that only his family has.
He and his sister went out one day to have the best day of their life, up until she was struck by a bullet. So he left and joined a fight club and knocked people out, because his mother raised him to take no nonsense, and that made him undefeated. His sister found him and wanted him to return, and though he was reluctant, she told him the situation the family is in, and that made him carry on back home.
While he bested his uncle, it came at the cost of him becoming a renegade for his country. He got thrown into prison with his sister, but she managed to break them out. But after getting shot again, he had to take her to the hospital, and luckily a nurse was willing to help, so she's still staying alive.
Now they all flee Australia, where he can leave his demons behind.
Man, doing this back and forth with this story and choosing songs is tiring. Let's just choose the songs and make a story out of those.
Works for me. What do you think, Xander?
Xander? Guys, I don't show up again until the final episode. Oh, right. Well, for this new format, my story involves this woman with a daughter and this guy that she believes is the father, but he swears the kid is not his daughter. She still manages to land a date with him at around 25 or 6 to 4. Too bad he doesn't show up, though. She left her daughter with her friend, but got some superstition that she might be in danger. And she was right. Her recently deceased ex possessed her friend and stole the daughter. She followed him to his old house that burned down, but every breath she took, she felt him watching her. He wanted to keep the daughter, but she wondered who gave him the right to do that. Luckily, the guy she was into arrived and revealed he was a medium, trying to protect her. How convenient. Though he was close to exorcising her ex, it was the weekend of the full moon, growing his power.
That was still an unfair choice you made.
Oh, save your tears for another day. Anyway, she realized her ex had no power over her, so she finished the exorcism, sucking him back underground. And now, with the daughter all grown up, they all work together as essentially Ghostbusters.
Okay, then for my story, it involves this cyborg Duke that wants to explore the outside world, but finds everyone is cooped up inside playing VR. So after looking through over 1,000 streets, he came to the conclusion that he'll have to go to the developer to get the players to go outside. And he was able to break into the building easily because his parents made him better, faster, and stronger. The Duke begged the developer to free the people from the virtual insanity, and while she was reluctant, the Duke told her to come on and just try. Sadly, they couldn't break the player's bad habit of quitting, so the Duke had to make a sacrifice by overloading the game servers with his body's electricity. He didn't forget to tell the developer what a great friend she is, though. Thanks to him, the players got to see the beauty of a wonderful world.
Alright, now our combined show. Isn't this where...
Dude.
Ah, right, Dave. Anyway, the story is about this dog that died, and the boy was upset wanting to hold him just for a while more, but they sadly had to say so long and good night. But little did they know, the dog was watching over them like a guardian angel.
Dude.
Well said, Dave. As the dog is watching over the boy steps into a dangerous zone, causing the boy to become possessed by a poltergeist that was feeding off their grief. The dog couldn't get any satisfaction in trying to get rid of it, so the dog had no choice but to whisper gospels into his ear, saying if he loved him, then he has to let him go, helping the boy recover as he accepts in his mind what had happened.
Dude.
I know, right? So the boy promises to always love him.
Dude.
Yes, indeed. The boy still misses the dog, but his heart will go on.
Dude.
The heck are y'all doing? Dave's not here, so this is the best we could do.
Dude.
Oh yeah, now it's our origins. So, I was always fascinated by the ocean. It made my feet unable to stay still. So, I decided to live my life as a diver. Sadly, this meant I was rather a lonely person, and I really didn't know where I belonged. In one of my dives, I found the book and realized it was special, so I guarded it. So, not only was I lonely, but I was just a poor boy. Nobody loved me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity.
Right, sorry. Now, I was just kind of a floater in life until I got lucky and found you. And I tried, really desperately, to make friends. And though you did try to escape me in the water, my kryptonite is making rash decisions, and it nearly drowned me. But I was able to move your feet to help me anyway, and now we're best buds. Everything would have been fine if you didn't come along and break reality. I was just letting you feel the magic in the air.
In the end, we decided to spend our summer in a new place we haven't seen before.
Seeing many faces that I'm still not sure I want to see, but we did anyway. And we prepared to look out into the deep blue one last time. And that does this recap. I'm Xander.
I'm Crawton.
And I'm DJ POOL. This was The Shallow End. Thanks for listening.